I tried not to let myself think about what could happen, what was possible, because I was always waiting for something to go wrong. No one has ever skied in alpine skiing in the Olympics or professionally after a partial knee replacement, let alone at the age of 41 as a female.
We've been asking Olympians as they come through who their GOAT is, and almost everybody has said you.
Really?
Yes.
Aww.
When you hear something like that, what does that mean to you?
That's really special because, that's coming from my peers, people that I admire and respect, fellow Olympians. And, that's really meaningful to me. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. I asked you this in 2018 when you won a medal, because I think you pushed the U.S. women over in terms of winning more medals, more than the men. Yeah, I think so.
Ooh, I like that.
But you have been very intentional about opportunities for women, exposure for women athletes. When you see how the landscape has changed, what does that mean to you? And knowing that you played a very big role in that.
I think it's incredible how the landscape has changed for women in sports and women in general. I think, especially now with people like Caitlin Clark, who have just brought, especially different sports, to a whole new level. But I think as women, we all play a role. We all have a responsibility for the next generation to try to continue to push that glass ceiling higher and higher. And it's really meaningful to me to have had maybe a tiny role in that. I always look up to Billie Jean King and how much she's done for women in sports. And it's been 50 years of her advocating for women in sports. So, I think we have a lot more to do, but all of us play a role, and all of these Winter Olympians play a huge role in bringing female sports onto the world stage. And I hope we inspire the next generation to pick up sports and continue the fight.
When you came back, is this what you envisioned, or did you have a vision for what you wanted to do beyond just ending on your terms?
I tried not to let myself think about what could happen, what was possible, because I was always waiting for something to go wrong. No one has ever skied in alpine skiing in the Olympics or professionally after a partial knee replacement, let alone at the age of 41 as a female. So I was just kind of waiting for something to happen. I didn't want to get my hopes up. But being here today and, being around all of this Olympic spirit, it just has me so excited about the potential and how I could hopefully close my career in a way that is really based on what I want to do. I retired in 2019 because my body said no more, not because I didn't want to continue racing. So I feel like this could be an incredible moment to, end this chapter of my life and move forward in a really exciting and peaceful way.
And Cortina will be your last, you're not going to finish the World Cup season, or
The only way I would keep racing after the Olympics is if I was in contention for a World Cup title.
Okay.
Otherwise, my last race will be February 12th, which is kind of nice to have the end game. You know exactly when it's going to end.
Yeah. What you've talked about, how special is Cortina to you?
It's so special. I mean, I really can't. I keep talking about it all day, but I can't really describe how meaningful it is to me. I won I was on my first podium in Cortina. I broke the Women's World Cup win record there. Both my parents were there for that race, which was incredible. And I've had so many wins and kind of overcome a lot of adversities there that have all impacted me in a very meaningful way. Getting my first podium really was the first time that I believed that I could compete with the best. And I haven't really changed my routine since that day. And to be able to come back again now to these Olympics and hopefully, put an exclamation point on my career in Cortina, that is something special. And I don't know if I would have even come back had it not been in Cortina.
Full circle.
Full circle, absolutely.